From KWTV, Oklahoma City, this is News 9 at 10.
Oklahoma firefighters are catching their breath before what could be another firestorm tomorrow.
And so much damage has already been caused just in 1 week. This fire in Crescent, well, here's what's left. We've got 2 barns were destroyed along with a few homes. And yesterday's dry conditions coupled with 50-mile-an-hour winds caused this fire to spread to 1,305 acres.
It's scary because you never know which way the wind is going to blow.
Now this inferno in Prague, it spanned across a 49-square-mile area. Firefighters from North Carolina and Alabama were called in to fight the flames, and at least 1 home was lost. Firefighters say the conditions were the worst they've ever dealt with.
You know, yesterday we were talking 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds with gusting to 64 miles per hour. You know, we just don't have that, especially with a humidity around 18%, and we just don't have that in Alabama.
And when we say fires were burning across the state, we mean it. Several fire departments responded to a fire in Muskogee which destroyed 5 homes. The blaze there 7 miles long, 1 mile wide. Most of the land lost was pasture and farmland.
Well, we just got home insurance and don't have any insurance on the cattle, none on the hay, none on the pasture. The barns, I don't know. This barn here may be covered.
And back here in the metro, a fast-moving fire near Northeast 63rd and Coltrane leveled 5 homes. The Oklahoma City Fire Department says more than 300 acres are charred there. This fire was just one of about 20 fires that burned across the metro on New Year's Day.
Turned back to go get a water hose and just started raining fire embers. And they were just all over us, and we said we had to go.
And the fire at Northeast 63rd and Coltrane was, as you saw in that video, very destructive. Governor Brad Henry toured the area earlier today and met with one of the families who lost their home. And Charles Bassett followed the governor on his tour and joins us now with more on that. Charles?
Well, Kelly, the governor spent several minutes with this family today trying to give them some words of comfort. Despite losing everything, the family says they're staying put. They plan to rebuild.
Thank God that you all are alive.
It was very close.
The governor greeted Howard and Deborah Lusk with hugs, and hugs go a long way. The family's 5,000-square-foot home has been reduced to rubble.
They're going to try to head this fire off at Sooner Road.
The couple was home sleeping Sunday afternoon when the fire began approaching their home from the east.
There were fire embers coming just down, you know, raining up on us.
Actually, literally throwing fire across the road.
That's a big house.
Then I thought, yeah, it's going to get us. It's going to get us.
The family had only minutes to get out before the entire area went up in flames.
Amazing that there weren't any fatalities. Nobody was injured. Nobody was killed. They were able to get all of the people out of this area.
I'm depressed, but this stuff, as I call it stuff, can be rebuilt, can be replaced.
Before getting to the home, the fire charred part of this old cemetery hidden in the brush.
The fire did destroy many of the grave markers, and so some of the graves probably won't be identifiable.
Johnson says she hopes this will lead to better efforts to preserve the cemetery. But for the living, this family is looking to the future.
I plan to come back. I plan to not leave.
And they're doing it for the young ones who call this place home.
We had good times here, very good times. Pretty house, 4th of July, firecrackers.
Oop, fire. But yeah, this is where we had it.
Gold is still not burnt, so that's very good.
So what do you think about all this? Do you want to rebuild?
Yeah. A happy time out here.
Breaks your heart. Well, there are a total of 10 homes out here. 4 were destroyed. Now, the Lusk have been out here on this property for about 50 years, and we're happy to say tonight they do have insurance. Kelly.
All right, we hope Cameron has more happy times there. Charles, has the governor heard back from authorities in Washington regarding federal relief?
No, he hasn't, Kelly. The governor said he has been in contact with Andrew Card with the White House for this federal assistance. He says so far they have not heard back from Card or the White House, but he expects to hear something real soon.
All right, Charles, and we'll keep following that for you.
U.S. Senator Jim Inhofe took a tour of the damage as well from above in a single-engine prop plane. Senator Inhofe flew over the Oklahoma wildfires at their peak yesterday. The senator says FEMA has already approved grants for the communities of Bethel Acres and Shamrock. At least 10 more grants could be approved in the coming weeks. And while the state waits for those federal dollars to be approved, the Red Cross is doing what it can to help out. The Red Cross of Central Oklahoma has been providing assistance to families affected by the grass fires this past week. If you need help, here's the number to call, area code 405-228-9500.
Well, yesterday you didn't see too many of these in the air. The Blackhawks, the Chinook helicopters, they were grounded due to the high winds.
But those high winds might be making a return tomorrow. Michael Armstrong is here to tell us what's on the horizon.
All right, well, conditions tomorrow don't look quite as gusty on the winds as what they were yesterday, which is good news, but still, don't be fooled. A very high fire danger. Let's take a look on the computer. Extreme conditions expected here in central down into southwestern Oklahoma. Gusts could be up to 30 miles per hour, so we'll be watching it closely. Gary will be in tomorrow, and I'll be with him. We'll be monitoring everything real close. Guys, back to you.
Homeowners living close to yesterday's blazes have had a day to get ready for a possible round 2. Many used that time to water their yards and their rooftops. Britton Follett tells us why yesterday's close call was a wake-up call for one woman. Britton?
When people living in this area had to evacuate their homes, they didn't have time to stop and think that they could be leaving some of their loved ones in the fire's path. The colors in the sky matched the flowers on Benny's grave.
I don't think it reached farther than there.
Flowers the fire spared.
She knew that her daddy's grave was okay, and I had already checked on that.
Benny is buried on the corner plot just up the hill from the rest of Jolene's family.
That was the whole purpose, to put him here where he died when he was 60, and to put him here where the girls and I can just look over and know that he's here.
Tonight, there's a wall between them.
Seeing the results of the fire does make you think.
Through the water, Jolene can't see him so well, but she believes the water will help protect the rest of her family.
Of course, we were concerned about the cemetery and the plots and all, but we were more concerned about the lives.
As dark skies blend with even darker ground, Jolene hopes the next moon will be as clear as this one. And it's still almost eerie out here tonight. There's a level of smoke that's just kind of hanging in the air still tonight, and we could expect more tomorrow. Back to you.
And there are a few things, of course, you can do to protect your home from a wildfire. Make sure you keep your roof and your gutters free of debris. If you have a chimney, inspect it and make sure it's cleaned at least once a year. Have a fire extinguisher in your home. Show your family members where it is and how to use it. And if flames are moving near your house, tools like a rake or a shovel, those can be used to battle a blaze.
Well, the state's Incident Command Post in Shawnee has been working overtime to keep track of all these fires, and they are preparing for tomorrow. State Emergency Management says the main purpose of the command post is coordination and bringing in more resources. Firefighters from southern states, tanker planes, and other various resources are on their way to help.
We're anticipating a group from Florida. We have some folks from Alabama and from Tennessee. The largest contingent came from North Carolina with over 40 folks.
Now, the Bureau of Indian Affairs has committed around 100 people to help fight these fires. News since 6 o'clock, we've learned one of Sasakwa's brush pumpers is back up and running. The wildfires have been too much for the volunteer fire department's old equipment. When we first told you about the problem Saturday night, Michael Burke, a mechanic, saw our story. He decided he had to help. His home was saved last week by volunteer firefighters.
It's just my way of giving back because of the guys that came out and helped us out in Mustang. You know, same kind of heroes that these guys are.
Until all the trucks are back up and running, a firefighting team from Missouri is being sent to Sasakwa to help.
Farmers also feeling the impact of the wildfires. Large chunks of land used for growing crops and raising livestock are just gone. Now, finding hay is also a big problem. Right now, farmers on one side of the state have it, while others don't.
The problem is going to be the transportation costs getting that hay to the impacted areas, and that's going to cause some financial hardships on it.
We can tell you none of the livestock near these fires have died. Meanwhile, our neighbors to the south in Texas also battling those wildfires. In some cases, entire towns have been swallowed up. Of the nearly 50 homes in Ringgold, 32 of them were damaged or destroyed. In Eastland County, a 25-mile-long fire destroyed about 24 homes. And what started out here as a possible domestic dispute actually ends up with a chase.
Kind of a strange one. Coming up next, why police were forced to use a taser to bring the man in.
Rumors are flying. Could Bob Stoops become the next head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs? Curtis is going to fill us in.
And my 2 cents on life's little annoyances when News 9 continues.
But first, here's a look at tonight's Pick 3 numbers.
From our partners at the Oklahoman, here is tomorrow's headline tonight.
Universities and internet service providers are being required to comply with federal law that will allow law enforcement to monitor email and other online communications. The government says it's necessary to catch terrorists and other criminals. The overhaul would cost billions of dollars.
For more on this story, pick up a copy of tomorrow's Oklahoman. Watch News 9 and go to our website, newsok.com. You're watching News 9 at 10. This is Oklahoma's most watched newscast with Kelly, Amy, Gary, and Dean.